Sometimes a simple after-work ride can turn into a much bigger adventure than you expect. So come along for the ride and maybe you can avoid making the same mistake as I did. I'm Diana, out of office and chasing places, and welcome to my channel. I just finished work and this is a perfect sunny day for an evening ride. It's almost 7 p.m. and I had no idea where to go, so my husband came with an interesting idea. He said that he found a road on Google Maps that was looking kinda like a light off-road, just some gravel road. So there we go. We're making our way to Întorsura Buzăului, and from there we'll keep riding toward the small village of Dalghiu, surrounded by some beautiful scenery. I've ridden this road a few times before. It's a beautiful area, but I've never really ventured deeper into the villages. The first stretch of the road is a bit boring, but after that the scenery changes completely. This is where having a slightly larger bike with a windscreen really pays off. It makes cruising along roads like this a lot more enjoyable. On my all-naked bike, riding through here at higher speeds was a completely different experience. I felt like a leaf being tossed around in a wind. Look at the traffic jam on the other side. I rarely ride through here unless I'm just out exploring, so I didn't realize these kind of queues were so common. I think the queue stretches almost all the way to the next intersection. So here I had Google Maps on my phone and I knew I had to take the first left. And right next to the intersection, my husband told me go left, so I panicked and I went right. Taking the wrong direction wasn't really a big deal. It simply led us to a little detour through some nearby villages. On the bright side, this gives me a chance to show you some of the villages around Brașov. There's nothing especially famous or spectacular about them, but they're not ugly either. They are just typical rural villages. So after our little detour, we finally rejoined the road we were supposed to be on all along. But we still have to pass a few villages before getting to the nicer views. And this is a very beautiful bridge. After this bridge, we'll start climbing a beautiful winding hill. Once you reach the top, you're rewarded with a beautiful panorama. You can see layer upon layer of hills, with forests covering much of the landscape. And right here at the top, I even spotted a few friends. My bumblebee is starting to get hungry, so it's time for a quick fuel stop. Luckily, there's a gas station right at the bottom of the hill. this is me making sure that it's the right gas.
Okay?
I always struggle with this fuel cap. It may be keyless, but somehow I never managed to close it properly on the first try. Okay, now that the bell is full, let's continue. The scenery around here is really beautiful, everything is so green. As nice as the landscape is, I just heard a few rumbles of thunder coming from that cloud. Let's hope our paths don't cross. This area is really beautiful too. There's a bison reserve here, and a little further down the road there's also a very interesting waterfall. Apparently we've arrived during rush hour. Cow rush hour. The ride just turned into an obstacle course. And it seems that in the middle of nowhere we have some car charging stations. And this is where the light off-road section I was telling you about begins. The road isn't bad at all through here, and the scenery is absolutely beautiful. It's the kind of place where you could hang up a hammock and spend the whole afternoon relaxing. Just look at how beautiful the mountains look in the distance. If you're wondering about my off-road skills, there isn't really much to tell. I think this is my second time riding on gravel roads. But what I like it is the sense of calm. Fewer cars, less traffic, and much more relaxed atmosphere. That's what makes it enjoyable for me. My camera gave up on me here. I realized I hadn't tightened the mounting screw properly. The good news is that it didn't fall off. The further we ride, the rougher the road seems to get. And this is where I ran into a problem. We can't continue straight ahead because it's a private road, so the only option is to take the road up the hill on the right. So we spent a few minutes trying to decide whether to turn back or keep going. My husband went ahead to check out the road while I looked at the maps, but they didn't really tell us anything about the condition of the track. Looking back, I think this was the first warning sign, and I probably should have turned around right here. But instead I said, okay, let's do it. So here I go. The road isn't actually that bad. The main issue is the ruts. If you're not careful, it's easy for the bike to slip into one of them. But the scenery keeps getting better and better. The road keeps getting worse, with more mud and puddles appearing along the way. The problem is that my skill level isn't really suited to these conditions. I was pretty tense on the bike. I wasn't exactly scared, but I definitely wasn't relaxed either. This is where the real problem started. My husband had stopped next to a puddle, and I didn't want to stop behind him because I wasn't sure I'd be able to get both feet firmly on the ground. So I decided to ride around him instead. I managed to get past him just fine, but a few seconds later I slid straight into a rut. And at that moment my first thought was, okay, first let me see if I'm still in one piece. Then I remembered I should probably turn off the engine. The funny thing is, my husband saw me fall and then he dropped his bike too.
N-ai căzut, ok. Ok. Problema e că tu te-ai oprit acolo și am dat tare și n-am căzut și după am luat un șans de ăsta.
Hai să ne întoarcem. Ești ok, sigur?
Stai, ce doamnă? Doar un pic genunchiul. Poți?
Da.
Luckily, nothing serious happened, just a few bruises and a story to tell.
Vezi dacă ăsta că eu țin un pic.
Aha.
ABS failure, ok.
And my bike decided to be a little dramatic. It showed an ABS failure warning, but after turning it off and back on again, everything was fine. And that's how I learned that if the kill switch is engaged, I can turn off the ignition. Anyway, after checking the bike over, everything seemed fine. There were a few scratches here and there, and the rear brake pedal was slightly bent, but it was easy enough to straighten back into place. And since I happened to crash in such a beautiful location, I decided to take some photos and shoot a few videos before moving on. Looking at the map, we realized it would take far too long to continue on this route, and there was a good chance the road would only get worse. So we decided to turn around and head back the way we came. I have to admit the ride back was a little more intimidating, but I took it slow and managed just fine. The scenery became even more beautiful as the sun started to set. Everything was in this soft pink light that made the whole landscape look magical. One issue I've been having is with this wind deflector on the windshield. It gets in the way of my visibility, and on roads like this, that's the last thing I need. I think I'll be removing it. And finally, the last few corners of this road. As much as I'm enjoying the scenery, I'm also looking forward to getting home. I'll be arriving after dark, and riding at night isn't really my favorite thing. After everything we've been through today, the road from here feels like a walk in the park. And somehow we managed to avoid the rain after all. That cloud has been following us for quite a while, and now it has taken on that really interesting shape. The pink glow makes it stand out even more against the sky. And we're back on paved roads. From here we still have about an hour to go before we get home. And with this beautiful sunset light, it's time to wrap up today's adventure. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, share it with your friends and subscribe for more adventures. Wherever the road takes us next, I hope you'll join me. See you in the next video.